Hi everyone, this is Aaron for Zollotech. We're going to review the iPad mini. This is Apple's latest iPad, and it has some great features and some not so great features. Let's first talk about the specs. Inside we have an A5 processor made by Apple, same processor that we get inside of the iPad 2, and we've had that for some time. We get 802.11 A, B, G, and N, Wi-Fi, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz bands, Bluetooth 4.0. We also have the option to get a 3G model, which is just arriving or coming out now for a lot of people at home, that allows you to have LTE on the device as well. It also has a 7.9-inch screen, reduced a couple inches from the larger iPad, which comes in at 1024 by 768 as far as the resolution is concerned, so it's not a Retina display. It also has a forward-facing 720p FaceTime camera that's 1.2 megapixels, and then it has a rear camera with 5 megapixels with a 5-element lens, autofocus, backside illuminated sensor, and turns out takes pretty nice pictures. We'll talk more about that in a moment. The overall design is really nice. We have the volume up and down buttons, not a rocker here, but up and down. We have a rotate switch or silent switch, depending on how you assign that. On this side, we don't have anything. On the bottom, we have dual speakers this time with a lightning adapter. And then on the top, we have a microphone, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and power on sleep wake button. So it's pretty much an iPad, just shrunk, just as you would expect. It also has a very large battery that's good for 10 hours of battery life. In fact, it's good for about 12 hours of battery life in most cases. It comes in 3 different variants, or really 6 different variants, and then multiple colors. So we have black and white versions of each, and then they come in 16, 32, and 64 gigabytes of storage. They also come with 3G or Wi-Fi, or both. This is actually the Wi-Fi model. The 3G model adds $129 to the price of each. So they start at $329 for 16, $429, $529, and then add $129 on top of that for the 3G model. So you can get pretty expensive with this little iPad. This iPad also has the smart cover that I've reviewed before. It clips on magnetically and will allow the iPad to sleep and wake, and works really nice, and I would definitely recommend this to anyone getting an iPad mini, even though it's a little pricey at $40. Now, the overall design of this is really nice. It's aluminum on the back. Again, there's the black or white model. You can see it's got some of my fingerprints over time, but it hasn't scratched. I've purposely used this without any protection on the back, setting it down on the table to see if it would have any scratches. And most of this doesn't seem to be scratched at all. In fact, I can't find any scratches on it whatsoever, really. Just my fingerprints, which you can wipe off over time. So the finish is holding up really nicely. The front doesn't have any scratches, but I do use the smart cover on that to help prevent some of that. This iPad feels very light and very small. It only weighs very little at 0.6 pounds or 308 grams. So it's really light and it's really thin. In fact, it's so thin that I use the smart cover folded up. I'll show you that here. I fold this up to kind of give me a little extra to grip on the back. It's just so teeny that I need that with my larger hands. Using an iPad mini is really nice. I never thought that I'd use one as much as I do, but I find myself going back to this just due to its super lightweight. It just is really light. Your hands don't get tired, and it's easy to hang on to. I have larger hands, so it's really easy to hang on to. And you don't find that your hand's interfering with this side. If you hold it like this, it's not hard to hold up the back just by holding your hand here. So it's really been well thought out as far as that goes. The camera on it, like I mentioned before, is a 5 megapixel, just like the iPhone 4, but with a little better lens on it. Here I have a Droid Razr HD box. Can tap the focus, get some really clear pictures, take some fast pictures, and is really nice camera, especially for a little iPad like this. The forward-facing camera is more for just HD video or phone calls using FaceTime. It does a good job, but it's not anything you'd want to take some great pictures with. You could use photo booth, make some funny faces and things, but it's really not anything you would want to take any great photos with. Overall, I think the iPad mini is a great buy at the low end, but as you start to rack on the different options, it can get awful pricey, and you may want to look to the larger iPad. I think it's a great little device. It's not something you're going to be looking at if you're looking at the Nexus 7, that's a much cheaper device, but even though it has a nicer screen on it, those that want an iPad generally want an iPad. Others that want a cheaper device generally go to a less expensive Android device. And that's not a problem, it's just a different type of category. The overall experience with the iPad mini for myself has been great, and I definitely recommend it to anybody looking to get their first iPad, or in addition to maybe another iPad for kids or something like that, or book reading. It just turns out to be a really nice device to use every single day. If you have any questions regarding the iPad mini, please place them in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.